Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Obsidian Foxglove. Enjoy! Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my hardcore Spruce-Only world. Now, first off, let me say that this video has taken quite the quality hit. Because if you couldn't tell, based off of how the audio isn't lining up with the gameplay, there was a little problem, so to say. So, my microphone disconnected from OBS yet again. It's so freaking annoying because that seems to happen every time I update my computer. My microphone just disconnects from everything. Even on my editing software, I had to reconnect my microphone because it was disconnected. But welcome back to another episode of my hardcore series. And here I'm talking about how I moved the world up to the Bronze Age, the Copper Age, 1.21.10. And so I have copper armor, and I can make copper tools. That's what you're seeing here. The first thing I do in this video is head down to my mines behind my house because I wanted a full set of armor and not just the limited protection that copper armor provides. And so I needed to go mining for some more copper or iron so I could finish a set of gear and feel far more protected. Okay, I gathered some food before I head over, as you can see with the berries. For a bit, I pretty much just run between my farm and the berries to harvest wheat and, well, food. But here I go, heading towards my mine that is behind my house, through the path I carved out between the trees. Now, you're seeing some visual lag here and there because of what I set my video recording frame rate to, which is 60. I need to bring that down so you'd see less lag. But I found a cave, and I was talking about how whether or not I should go down there while noting my horrible experiences with going into caves in hardcore Minecraft, where I have died plenty of times before. And so I just decide to wait until I have proper gear to head down there. And now I cut to when I have full copper armor. After talking about my new copper gear, I discuss the inefficient way I get to my mine, which is swimming across a river. And I talk about how I want to build a bridge connecting the opposite sides. As you can see here, there's the little river, and from there is where I cross the river to get to the other side to get to my mine. So I talk about building a bridge to make traveling easier, and here I head back to my house to prepare, playing some water in case I decide to build tall pillars. And here's where the building begins. I build 2 pillars on one side. I talk about copying it, and then like that I got 2 pillars that I fell at doing parkour between. See, I fell. I'm not very good at parkour. That just put it in perspective. And in a second, my pillars pretty much double onto the other side as well. I was really jumping between different parts of the build so my video recording wouldn't be too long. But somehow, as you can see in the video, it still ended up being nearly 25 minutes long. Usually it would have been shorter because I would make more cuts and whatnot, but I can't really do that when there's no commentary. There is no commentary, so there's no long bouts of silence here or there that I need to cut out. There's no repetitive things, like cutting trees, breaking one block over and over. There's really not much I need to cut out from this footage. But I talk about how I want to design my bridge, and I was wondering if this looked good or not. And I couldn't come to any personal conclusion about whether or not I liked it. I was very indecisive. It looked kind of weird to me, a bit jank, as some would say. But I went with it anyway, and I continue the pattern of slabs, stairs, and slabs once more. That's how, well, that's what you're seeing here, my struggle. But I figure out a way to do it, which requires me to place a block beneath where I want to place the stairs, so I could actually have the stairs face a front perspective instead of being upside down or something like that. So, yep, here you see it, dirt, and I placed the stairs on top of that. I was really questioning how it had appeared here. That's why there's no work being done. But I just go ahead and continue with that particular design, talking about how I would just rebuild the bridge later if I really didn't like how the final product turned out. In a moment, you'll see here, I actually stepped back and looked at my progress so far and admired it, because the design was slowly growing on me as I built it. But I did have one problem, and that was the weird shape of the bridge on the bottom of it. That's why I added those slabs. And it was to make the sides look, well, more gradual, more slopey, I suppose. And then I make more slabs to connect the two sides, with trapdoors being as the next part of the bridge. Yep, see? The trapdoors add one tiny bit extra height to it, I guess. A bit of height to the slope. And I add trapdoors on the corner blocks on each side because I thought it just looked nice. Here in a second, you'll see me go back to my house to sleep. Yep. Here I'm crossing the bridge to do just that. I head toward my house as the sun sets, and I return in the morning. Yep. I'm talking about what else I wanted to add to the bridge to make it look better, such as those 4 pillars that just magically appear connected to the bottom of the riverbed. They just somehow appeared there. It's not like I built them or anything. I was talking about how I had to connect the rest of the pillars to the bottom of the riverbed with cobbled deep slate because I ran out of chiseled deep slate, which is what that intricately designed block is that you're seeing on the sides of the bridge that I built the pillars out of. That is chiseled deep slate. Now I'm talking about adding walls to the sides for safety concerns. I don't want to get a lawsuit for not complying with OSHA, after all. And so I built walls on the sides of the bridge to prevent people from just accidentally walking into the river. Yep. Here I'm talking about it. I think this is where I add cobblestone walls. Yeah. I added the cobblestone walls for more detail and to connect those 4 pillars to their side counterparts. Furthermore, I add slabs on top of the cobbled deep slate because it was still way too easy just walking off the edge of my bridge. So that's why I did it. Now, of course, I also put slabs on the cobblestone walls, as you're about to see. Oh, yeah, gotta finish placing them on the sides first. And soon enough, wow, I ran out of slabs more than I thought. But soon enough, I add the slabs to the walls of the bridge as well. And I fell in love with it. Yeah, I almost died here because I forgot there was a lava pool next to my house. I was panically eating berries, and when you see my damaged armor in my inventory, I was talking about how pretty much all of that damage was done to my gear by the berry bushes I have in front of my house. Those things are incredibly annoying if you step into them. Furthermore, it's made so much worse because you actually have to walk in them sometimes to grab the berries that you picked. I honestly think Moyangs just make the items fly towards you and not just in a random direction. But here I add the slabs to the cobblestone walls, and I talk about how I would like to add lanterns onto the pillars of my bridge, but I don't have enough iron for that, so instead I add torches, which I talk about how they don't actually seem all that natural, because in real life, unless you're dealing with one of those tall torches, torches cannot stand like that on any surface. They're pretty much just a stick with cloth wrapped around it, soaked in kerosene, that's lit on fire. That's pretty much what a torch is. So it doesn't make much sense that they could just stand on their own on the pillars of the bridge like that. Now here, I'm not quite sure what I went to do. I think this is the part of the video where I go looking for sheep because I saw one in the forest and I wanted to make a sheep farm. But of course, I put that on hold to check my wheat farm, which didn't have anything grown. So I head back to my house and bust, well, yeah, I think this is around the point where I bust my sheep out of its box. Is it? I'm not entirely sure. Once again, this is a voiceover and I'm commentating as I see the video. So I'm as lost as any of you about what is happening. I think I'm talking about building a sheep farm out of fences, right? Possibly. Yep. I got the fences and I want to build my sheep farm close to my house, but not too close. I didn't want it to be right next to my house, mind you. And so I looked for a spot in my cleared area where to put it. And after I dismiss this wolf, I get on to building my sheep farm right next to the wheat farm because I thought it was just interesting to organize them that way, because wheat farms and sheep correlate with each other, because in this game you breed sheep and you feed sheep wheat, and you use the wheat to feed and breed the sheep. And so I thought it would be nice, or just a little funny or entertaining, I don't know, to put the sheep farm right next to the wheat farm. Here I struggled to decide where I wanted to place the fence gate, by the way. I did end up choosing a spot after a few moments of just arguing with myself. But here I harvest some wheat, plant some more of my farm, and now I bust my sheep out of its little box. By the way, does anyone remember if I actually named this sheep or not? I don't know if I did. I strangely think I did, but at the same time, I doubt it. But here I hold wheat in my hand to lure the sheep back to its new home. A home that has far more space and should be far more to the sheep's liking. And I think it agreed, considering it was so enthusiastic in following me. It went into its new home pretty easily, although it did try to escape. I think it longed for the far more reaching and expansive freedom that the free world would provide the sheep. But I couldn't let that happen. I needed some way to keep making infinite wool. And so I shut the fence gate in my sheep's face. And then I go looking for another sheep, because in the beginning of the recording I was almost certain that I saw a sheep moving in the forest. Here I dismiss another dog. Don't worry, it's not dead. I promise. I swear. I swear on my sheep's life. Yes, I swear on my sheep's life. But I go searching for a sheep for a long time. In fact, that's pretty much what makes up most of this video, is just me looking for a sheep, finding a sheep, and leading it back to my house, because it was a struggle. I'm gonna be bland, it was a struggle. There were wolves everywhere. I mean it. I slaughtered like 2 entire packs of them just because I didn't want them eating the sheep I was taking back home. See, here I found the sheep and also some cows, although I think I lose the cows somehow. I'm not really certain. But after I actually find the sheep, it turns out I was lost. I had no clue where to go with this. I couldn't see my house in any direction. I think even at some point I turned my render distance to max, which caused me a lot of lag. But I still didn't see it. Of course, I did eventually find my house, because this video has ended and you're watching it. But here I am, struggling, leading the sheep all the way back to my base without knowing where I'm actually going. I just have the grandest time trying to lead the sheep through the forest, through the thick ferns that littered the grass in any direction I dared to look. And it was a struggle every step of the way, and here I encountered more wolves. Yes, there was a lot of dismissing wolves in this video. Don't pay it too much mind. I swear it was nothing bad, nothing at all. It was just a bunch of wolves turning into puffs of smoke. Yep. Here I nearly got killed by this wolf after I hit it, while I also nearly killed my sheep. All because a lone wolf decided to stray from its brethren to bite my ankles. No, I'm just kidding. It looked at my sheep and said, I would like a taste of that. And so I had to kill it to protect my sheep's lively integrity. I didn't want the quality of its wool dropping, or the quality of its meat from when I slaughter it dropping. So I killed the wolf, and here I realized I've lost, and so I decided to drive into this lake to, follow the channels, find the river where my bridge is, only to actually find out that that lake is in fact a lake. I thought it was a river or a sea, but no, I was wrong in all sorts of ways. And so I just leave my sheep out on the water so no wolves can get to it, swim back to land. Also, I could get on top of a tree and try to spy my house out the old-fashioned way. Pretty much the way every Minecrafter would try and find their house in the beginning of the game, before they just started building pillars. They would climb onto trees and look for things. Here is where I turned my render distance up to max, like I was telling you all, to find my house. Of course, nothing actually came out of it other than a bunch of lag, as you're now bearing witness to, because this looks like a slideshow of still images. I definitely could have cut this from the video, mind you, but I thought, why not? My computer already decided to ruin this recording for me, so let's just make it as raw of a video as I can. And so there are practically no cuts in this footage. By the way, this is taking place after I found my farm, finally. And I led my sheep straight to the sheep pen because I somehow broke from the forest right next to all my wheat, Now the sheep did try to stray there to go and take a bite of my crops, but I stopped it just in time and got it into its new home, where it is trapped with its one partner that it has to deal with for the rest of its life in that small space. Here I go to my sheep and place slabs on the fences because wolves can actually see over fences, and so sometimes they would jump toward them to get a bite out of a sheep's chops. However, if you place the slabs on top of the fences, then that view is broken or at least restricted and they don't jump toward the pen. Now, my biggest worry is the fact that a wolf can just as easily walk onto my wheat farm and see over the slabs that way. And they jump or they lunge at their prey. And so it's very possible for them to have just jumped onto the fence and turned my sheep pen, my sheep farm, into a mutton and lamb buffet. Now we're heading ever closer to the end of this video, and so all I can say is that I hope you all enjoyed this poorer quality video compared to my others. But if you're not seeing this, that's okay. I would have suggested skipping this episode entirely as well, because it is definitely subpar. Now, I posed a question to you all in this video, which of course my microphone didn't pick up, but my question was, what would you like to see me build in the next episode of my hardcore series? Because I don't usually know how these hardcore series are structured, like the progression in them, even though I watch a lot of Minecraft hardcore videos. But I love building, and so I would like to see your suggestions. As long as it's nothing too complex or time consuming, like a mega structure, like something that Cookie God may build in one of his hardcore videos. Because I have a very strict schedule of uploading every Friday on this channel, and on the occasional Thursday for a bonus video. By the way, I actually uploaded one of those yesterday, so I hope you all enjoyed that as you've watched this video as well. So, I shear my sheep just a bit more before I kill another zombie, another walking flash of another walking bag of flesh that's falling off the bones in rot, before I head into my house and rest for the final time in this one video. And so, with that being everything, I would like to say thank you for watching this video. If you watched my other videos as well, thank you for doing so. And I hope you all stick with me and watch as this channel grows in quality, in size, in quantity. So, with everything being said, have a good night, a good day, a good afternoon, a good morning, or if you're a night owl, have a good dawn or have a good dusk. But that's everything. Bye, everyone. Join me in my next video. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and comment to boost it in the algorithm. And if you vibe with my content and want to see more, subscribe.